Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello loves. Welcome back to my channel. So I've been itching to talk about this for a while now, but because I was so busy with lectures I couldn't find the time. So fortunately I have time to spare. So a lot of things are happening in the K-pop spaces recently, but this topic has piqued my interest a lot. And this has to do with BLACKPINK Deadline Tour and all the controversies surrounding it, and as usual I have a lot I want to say about this. I know I'm late to this topic, so please forgive me, and also I apologize for the robot voice. I will be recording in no time, but using this voice makes it so simpler to make videos, and also a lot faster. Okay, so before jumping onto the tour, let's talk about their single Jump. If there is any word I would use to describe Jump, it would be that it's an embarrassingly generic song for a global group like BLACKPINK. I mean, it's not terrible or anything. It's just so lackluster and boring. I mean, really, this is what we get after 3 years? It really shows YG's laziness and incompetence to do right by their biggest money makers, and honestly disrespectful to their fans. The choreography is so mid and hard to watch, and the music video is a CGI mess. Time and time again, Blinks are always so patient waiting for BLACKPINK to come back, but instead they always get a rushed generic-ass songs. Considering they've all released solo work outside of YG, but even after that the group's music shows no growth. It's never evolving, just regressing, and that's so disappointing. The sad part is that this song had so much potential to be a fire track, but of course YG fumbled the bag and it ended up being so mediocre and underwhelming. Same with the music video. Like we were finally outside and not in some basement, but instead of making use of that money they make, we're given this empty, soulless, CGI crap. And for a song named Jump, you would think they would incorporate jumping into the choreography, but instead they're banging their heads onto the cars. Like, what was the vision here? But I guess they're banging their heads on the cars cause they can't to listen to this crap, and I don't blame them. What I find baffling is that BLACKPINK are on tour with just one song. No album or mini-album at least. Just their old songs that are almost a decade old now. The only songs that brings excitement and energy on stage are the members' solo songs, which they performed really well, credit to them. But other than that, when they perform their group songs it feels so empty and soulless. And I'm not only talking about the members, I'm talking about the stage production. It's so bland, like no effort is being put here. Like, where's the budget? Cause it does not feel like a BLACKPINK tour, you know, the biggest girl group in the world. When it comes to BLACKPINK, I'm never impressed whenever they go on tour. The only time I'm excited or hyped to see them is when they're performing their solo songs at festivals, award shows, or at Coachella, because for some reason, they performed like there's no tomorrow, and they're just energetic and just happier. Now this tour is not really that bad compared to the Born Pink tour back in 2022. Which was so unwatchable. It had low energy and effort, and they were so out of sync, the only member that was. And still, putting in so much effort is Lisa, and even with that the performances are lackluster. This Deadline tour is much better than Born Pink tour, which is really not a compliment. Cause just because it's better than their previous tour doesn't make it good. Whenever they're performing their group songs, it seems like they're being held at gunpoint to be there. They give their fans nothing who, mind you, are paying thousands of dollars to see them such terrible performances and seem to not care how much they're spending on them. Basically, this tour does not make any sense to me. They could have released an album the last quarter of 2025, and then prepare for their tour mid-2026. I mean, fans waited 3 years. What's another year? At least their schedules would have been clear and the tour wouldn't have been rushed, or at least make sense. But of course YG's greed wouldn't let that happen. There needs to be a brutal discussion about the standard for BLACKPINK performances, because honey, this is unacceptable. You would think that being the biggest girl group would bring so much synergy, chemistry, and unexplainable dynamic. For a group like BLACKPINK, who, mind you, are almost a decade into their careers, wherein the experience and professionalism should be best the K-pop industry has to offer, but it's quite the opposite. They look more like different individuals working on a school project. The bar is on the floor. No, in fact, it's burning in hell. Though as a group their performances are so lacking and mediocre. But honestly, shout out to Lisa, who is always trying her best to make the performances look at least decent. Even though half of the time the backtrack is out singing her, but at least she is not a walking zombie on stage. And also Jisoo and Rosé are holding their own in some way. But of course Miss Jennie Kim just has to serve us the Give Us Nothing Part 50. Now for how long are Blinks gonna push the ankle injury excuse? She has the resources to get that under control, and if it's that serious, why the hell are you even on tour? It's so funny that during her Ruby Experience shows, she magically doesn't have an ankle injury. She was serving them performances as if she was Beyoncé Jr. The fact these allegations of Jennie being unprofessional are not recent. But for 9 years now, fans have been complaining and she still chose to give such messy performances for her fans. She knows she can do so much better than this but doesn't act on it, 'cause she know her fans are gonna defend her and shield her from justified criticism. The level of disrespect and insensitivity she has for her fans seriously needs to be studied. And the way Rosé was looking at her just shows how tired she is of this shit. And please don't give me the "oh she's tired." Bitch, tired of what? These songs should be so easy to perform. You've been performing them for like forever. It should be easy as walking or basically breathing. And even with that stupid excuse, it still doesn't excuse such unprofessional behavior. Whenever they go on tour this behavior is tolerated and it just frustrates me. Blinks have to be the most understanding and loyal fan base, always settling for crumbs and below the bare minimum. I seriously pity you guys. Speaking of Blinks, some of you bitches need to shut the hell up about other groups, 'cause your faves aren't serving shit. I always thought it was so funny that Blinks are always in everyone's business schooling them on anything, but their faves aren't any better. They attacked Wonhee for not glazing BLACKPINK, and now they're attacking Cat's Eye for liking a video shading BLACKPINK. I mean, the video was not wrong. Was it shady? Yes, but was it wrong? No. And no matter how much Blinks attacked them, doesn't change the fact that Cat's Eye are charismatic and brilliant performers. I might not be the biggest fan of their music, but I have to acknowledge the fact that Cat's Eye are such energetic and entertaining performers, and that's just the hard truth for Blinks. You can bring up stats and charting all you want, but BLACKPINK cannot outperform a group like Cat's Eye if we're being honest here. And don't give me the "oh but Coachella." Okay, then what? I mean, aren't you guys tired of settling for such mediocrity? And you have the audacity to be comparing BLACKPINK and BTS and it's not even close. So Blinks, please take several seats. You are in no position to be attacking any groups when BLACKPINK are out here giving us nothing. Over the years, Blinks and the general public always find a way to blame YG. Even I was always putting the blame on YG, mainly because of their inconsistent comebacks, no growth with their music, prioritizing brand and luxury over the music, and just YG's greed. But at a certain point I think we need to hold BLACKPINK accountable for their own part and the things they do have control over. I mean, yeah, YG is to be blamed for rushing this tour 'cause they needed money, and the Pinks agreed to that, so therefore they have to do their job. Blinks can complain and attack all they want about how they're being forced to do this or being blackmailed. But the Pinks did sign a contract renewal. So it's also their responsibility as artists. They can't be out here picking and choosing where to give their all when it's their job. They can't be a decade old and still be this unprofessional, and I'm looking at you, Jennie. They present themselves as BLACKPINK, but it doesn't feel like it. They seem more like 4 soloists that are being tortured to be there. The fact that the reason they're so big and successful because of them being in BLACKPINK, but when it's time to put on worthy performance as a group, they give us nothing, and that's supposed to be YG's fault? When it's time for their solo stages, they're performing as if they're at the Super Bowl, and that's obviously shows where their priorities lie. They don't care about being in a group anymore. They only perform really good when it's Coachella or solo concerts where they know their rich friends and big names are gonna be. Blinks can cry and whine that BLACKPINK themselves are selfless heroes or something, but it's so clear that they're mainly here for their own interests and not because they value their fans. 'Cause if they did, we wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. I swear if this was BTS would people be blaming the company or the group? Hell, the same blinks would be on their necks dragging them for filth, and they won't hold Blackpink themselves accountable for their own mistakes. So yeah, YG is to be blamed to a certain extent, but Blackpink also needs to share the blame, cause the quote-unquote biggest girl group can't be out here performing like this. It's so embarrassing. Honestly, I'm disappointed but not surprised. As a former Blink, I really respect Blackpink for what they've contributed to K-pop, and that's why I'm hard on them. Because I know they can do so much better than this, but they chose not to. I think that's the thing that annoys me the most. The fans are spending so much and they give such lackluster and mid performances. Cause if they did care, they wouldn't have to pick and choose where to give their all. But of course the fans are the ones encouraging this and be delusional, and it's just sad. Anyways, I heard they're gonna release an album in October or November, and yeah, let's see what they got in store for us. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please tell me what you think about the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye loves.